to heat up your frozen dinners, grab your TV tray, and settle in for another episode of the Plus Platoon, your podcast for all things Disney Plus, brought to you by Disney Plus fans. Watch along with us every week as we cover all the new, the old, the good, and the bad on Disney Plus. So put down that remote, don't touch that dial, and welcome your fabulous Plus Platoon host.
Hey everyone, my name is Derek and I'm one of the members of the Plus Platoon. We're a Disney Plus fan podcast that gives honest, spoiler-filled reviews of movies and shows on Disney Plus. We look at new releases, coming attractions, and we'll even go back into the vault to revisit some of the classic Disney on the platform. Make sure you subscribe so you can never miss a moment. I'm going to bring in my girl, Kate. Kate, how you doing this evening?
I'm so good, Derek. I'm so good. Merry after Christmas, the weird transition time in between Christmas and New Year's. It's always weird.
Is this technically the fourth day of Christmas? I think, maybe. I think it starts on Christmas.
Sure. Let's go with that.
No, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is the fourth day of Christmas.
So,
despite what Pete is saying. So let's go ahead and bring in Pete. So I think this is the fourth day because it's only.
I thought Christmas Eve counted, but maybe you're right.
Are we talking about the 12 days of Christmas?
Yes, and because it's until Epiphany, I believe.
January 6th is Epiphany. Yes.
Yeah.
And happy Boxing Day, all.
Happy Boxing Day.
Couple days over. So
a couple days ago.
So for that, you need to make sure you watch Rocky and Rocky 2 and Creed and Raging Bull. Wrong boxing.
Here I got a box.
Yeah.
No, it's this type of box.
Yeah. And we have tonight with us Rebecca. Rebecca, good to see you.
It's been wonderful. I'm a new woman. I'm a certified teacher. I'm a fiance.
Graduate.
I'm a college graduate.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know. Double congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's still hanging out with us. Amazing.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, Sam can't be with us this week, but we've got a great group, and we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. As always, we start with Disney Plus news. Kate, what you got this week?
I have so much on the Disney Plus news. Sorry, I just used up all my wrapping paper, so now I have this really cool wrapping paper tube. Anyway, on the Disney Plus news, we have the previously announced series based on Oswald the Lucky Rabbit has been confirmed as canceled. Hopefully, we will see this pre-Mickey creation later on down the line. Second of all, a spin-off series of the live-action Aladdin called Prince Anders. Is that right, Brian? Derek? Why am I saying Brian? Brian? Derek?
That's right.
Yeah.
Samantha? Where's Samantha? Sorry.
Yeah. Prince Anders,
but Prince Anders is still in development. Did anyone catch that Olaf joke? Samantha?
Yeah.
Anyway, it will include the original cast and we'll discuss the background of Prince Anders, one of Jasmine's suitors, as well as the origins of the genie. I've never heard of Prince Anders.
He's in the live action movie.
He's in the live action.
That's okay.
Like a little tiny part, and I don't know why they thought this, but whatever.
Got it. Okay. And third, final but not least, it's fine. The animated short Far From the Tree debuted this week about a young raccoon who is learning his way in the world. And as somebody who Miko is one of her favorite Disney characters, I'm really excited for this short. Back to you.
Yeah. Going to be a lot of fun. And we've got Vicky with us tonight. So, hello, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this week we wrapped up Hawkeye on the 23rd. And so, Rebecca, I'm going to start with you and say, was it a satisfying finale?
Yes and no. For me, the big no, which I know we'll talk about later, is that Kingpin is dead, or so we think. To our knowledge, he's died. He was like shadowed and forecasted as like this big bad. And even in the comics and in Daredevil, he's like this nuanced character as like being just the biggest bad. Like he doesn't really do a lot with like Avengers stuff, but this, illegal street crime ring that he is in charge of, terrorizes the city. And then he just dies in like the first episode that we actually see him in. So that was really, really unsatisfying for me. I would say everything else wrapped up, came to an end. I loved how Jack's character turned into, this funny one. Like I was laughing with him sword fighting and the LARPers and all of those things. I thought that was awesome. I like that the mom was arrested. I think that, this whole storyline of her preaching to Kate about needing to take responsibility and ownership and that she never does that. Well, now she has to take ownership for the things that she's done. So that was kind of satisfying. And then Clint made it home and he was able to see his family. I love the little thing at the end with the watch. That was awesome, kind of like solidified her being a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. and being an agent. That was really cool. Kind of explains how she knew all this information and had these connections, but she cared so much about the watch because it belonged to her and stuff. It was really, really fun. So to me, half satisfying, half wah because of what they did to the big bad of the series. So Derek.
And we will talk about what we think is going on with Kingpin later. So for me, I would say mostly satisfying. I liked the fact that it didn't really add that much that was new in this episode, and it wrapped up most of the plot lines. The fight scene with all the arrows flying around was just a little bit much, but it worked. There wasn't really an ending that I didn't feel like it didn't work. Maybe with Yelena, mainly because there was no "I forgive you" statement that was made, but the implication is there that she did believe finally Clint. I also think there was a spot for deeper reflection from Kate and Clint that they missed. What was the body count on this episode? Huge. And there was no acknowledgement of that. That Hawkeye is one of the only Avengers that kills people will go kill people without much regret. And now Kate's doing it too. There were some things to work. And as much as Marvel likes an angst-filled hero, that could have been played up a little bit more. But for the most part, I thought it worked. Kate?
So #confused Kate was still confused. I don't think Kingpin is dead because we didn't see a body. And honestly, even in Marvel, you see a body and that doesn't mean anything. So I think Kingpin, especially since they've confirmed that they're bringing Daredevil into the MCU, the Disney MCU. Anyway,
No.
So I don't think because they literally, Ryan, he's on the moon. Ryan, everybody's on the moon. Let's go. But because I was like, oh no, Kingpin's gonna die. Like, oh dang. And I was sitting like this, but then they didn't show they didn't show him being shot. And I was like, okay, well, he's clearly not dead. Because that's a typical, like, you heard the shots, but do you know who they actually shot? No, you don't. I unfortunately went into this having seen people posting on social media being like, yo, Hawkeye episode 6, everything I could have asked for. It was so good. So I went in with really unexpectedly high expectations. And I watched this on the airplane going from Missouri back to Orlando. And when it ended, I was like, that's it? Like, I mean, that's good. I'm glad he made it home for Christmas. I love how they're setting up Kate. I have a girl crush on Yelena. Like, I'm here for all of it. And the post-credit scene was everything my little heart could have asked for. But I was just kind of like, kind of like Rebecca, what you said, like Kingpin's dead. Like that's it. So it left a little something to be desired for me. I'm not sure what I wanted, but Pete, what about you?
I just don't see them bringing in Kingpin for one episode and killing him off. So I
Mm-mm.
don't see that that's really what happened. I guess in the comic books, Echo shoots him in the comic books as well, and he's blinded, but then he eventually gets his sight back. So I don't know. I'm sure we're going to see him again. I'll say that. That's all I'll say about that right now. I was pleasantly surprised by this finale. I've enjoyed the series as a whole. It's not. I don't know. It's probably tied with Falcon and Winter Soldier for me for third. I don't know which I would like better. I liked some of the stuff in Falcon and Winter Soldier that they talked about, various you know politics and race relations and things like that. This was much more lighthearted. So I think if you like lighthearted, this would probably rank higher. Um, but I was very impressed with how in the last episode they kind of wrapped up all the character arcs that they had set up in the series. Because like at the end of episode 4, it's like, oh my God, there's so many characters, and how are they going to bring this to a decent conclusion? I mean, Marvel never brings anything to a conclusion, right? There's always a to be continued. But I thought they wrapped up the Yelena story, they wrapped up the mom story, they got Clint home for Christmas. They satisfactorily summed up Yelena's relationship with Clint, and pretty well, that they were able to like come, she didn't kill him basically. So, and as you said, the Jack and the LARPers, so kind of everybody got their moment in that last episode. I don't know how high the body count was, because I felt like a lot of times they were just like knocking out people as opposed to killing them, but there were definitely some people that were killed for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I really enjoyed the final episode. Not my favorite series, but I thought it was a really good story. My biggest issue was really how little Pizza Dog factored into the last episode.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
I guess for me, the reason that I know Kingpin's not dead. I'm not like naive about that. I know that he's alive,
Of course.
but I'm going to really, really, really disagree with Kate here. That end credit scene, as charming as it was so completely uncalled. I did not need to watch that at all. I don't think it was like, if you're going to tell me that that's the way Kingpin died, like at least it should, like, that I feel the end credit scene should have included him being shot in the face but not dying, or like just showing some type of movement from him so that we know, dang, he's still out there, he's not, because in every other end credit scene that we've seen, it's like changed the course of how the Marvel universe
Agreed.
has gone, and this one was literally just a song that they are pushing. Like, it was pushed in Spider-Man, it's being pushed in this episode. To me, that the end credit scene was just uncalled for here.
It's in Spider-Man?
Not in the new one, but is it Far From Home or Homecoming? Whichever.
Oh, okay.
The
Continue.
one before this one, it was
Okay,
a part of it. So
Eric, you go.
End credit scene was because I'm getting you talking about something about with that being where he's shot, but I thought the end credit scene was just the musical.
I'm saying
Yeah,
it was.
just the
I'm
musical.
saying the end credit scene should have included something about him still being alive.
100%.
We thought he was shot.
I will say though that the director didn't know they were going to throw that on the end credit scene.
Okay.
There was not supposed to be an original one.
Hold on. Rebecca, you and I are actually in 100% agreement. I don't think this was the correct placing for this end credit scene. I loved it because I'm a musical theater person and you are as well. And like how corny it is, and the fact that Adam Pascal, who was original from Rent, and Aida is in it. But they should have had this end credit scene at the end of the first episode when they showed the when they showed that scene in itself. It should not have been at the end of this episode. I agree with you 100% there, because I actually went back. It's funny that you say this. I actually went back and was like, wait, hold on. Did I miss an end credit scene that like furthers the story? Like I went back and looked, and I hadn't. And so I actually 100% agree with you. I liked this end credit scene, but it was after the wrong episode. It should have been after when they showed that in the episode.
Yeah.
Or there should have been one that was actually related to the show.
Second one. Yes.
And then a second one, which was the musical.
Yes.
Okay. Gina says she was disappointed a bit about the Kingpin so-called death. Also upset that Eleanor was not the big bad. To me, it worked.
No one's going to be bigger than Kingpin, though.
Yeah, no. Ryan says he felt half satisfied that at least he got home for Christmas. And he asked, does Hawkeye actually kill them, or is he good enough shot to completely incapacitate them? The shots to the chest and the explosions are going to kill them.
Yeah.
So,
can I ask a confused Kate question?
Sure.
So when she got and hashtag spoilers, obviously we know that this is a spoiler-filled podcast. When she got the watch and she flipped it over, and on the shield symbol, it said 19. Is that significant?
Yes.
She's Agent 19.
Okay, because I know in watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like, oh, Agent so-and-so got Agent 13 or whatever, got brainwashed, but now they're back with us. So that told me she is Agent 19 from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., correct?
She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Agent 19. Agent 19 supposedly was Mockingbird.
Okay.
At one point.
Who was a love interest of Clint's.
But
Okay.
Mockingbird was also played by a different actress in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we don't know for sure that she's Mockingbird, but clearly they're implying that let's put it this way. They're implying that she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that Clint married. And
but I don't know this. I wouldn't
still
know
don't
this from seeing the movies. You know this because you know Marvel canon.
Well, I don't. I looked it up because they showed the watch and it said 19. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? So I looked it up. But
okay. Got it.
Ryan says the end scene needed Yelena sitting in the audience going, I waited 5 hours for this. Ryan, welcome to my Marvel life. And Vicky says end credit scenes have not been very satisfying lately. Totally agree. And either that should have been like released as a separate little extra instead of necessarily being an end credit, and just kept no end credit scenes for the whole thing. Because to me, no end credit scenes actually worked. Because I know Marvel's big on their end credit scenes, but it worked not having.
Because here's my thing. At the end of WandaVision, at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, we got end credit scenes that spoke about future movies coming up that continued the storyline. At the end of Loki, we got an announcing of a second season. So we knew there was continued story happening. Here, the only thing we've gotten is an ending to everything and nothing continuing the story. I
agree because they've already announced an Echo series, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and we're gonna get into talking about Echo, but why not set that up? I mean, I
think they did with her shooting Kingpin. I think that sets it up.
Well, it does, but why don't they set up the actual series more? I don't know. I mean, where's she gonna go? Is she gonna be a good guy? Is she gonna be I don't know.
And as Ryan says, really thinks this whole series doesn't have a true identity. Don't know what to do with it. Hence the end credit scene. No, the identity of this was to plug all the upcoming series. So, okay, we've got what's next for the different characters, and what we're going to do is each of us is going to pick a character or a set of characters and figure out what we think is going to happen to that character next. Starting off with Pete. What's going to happen with Clint and his wife and his family?
I think either one of two things. I think either we are done with Clint completely in the MCU, or it's one of those things where, because I definitely think I don't want to be talking about Kate, but I definitely think we're going to see more of Kate, and maybe he plays a mentor role where he does a small cameo or something like that. But I think that I think that he's been trying to retire for half the MCU now, and I kind of foresee that. I don't think we get a second season of this series, is what I'm saying. I think Clint Barton is pretty much done. I think the actor is done with the role, and so I think they kind of summed it up with him burning the Ronin suit and everything like that. So I think we're done with Clint Barton, and I'm glad he got a series, but I think there's not much more to that character. So I don't know.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Kate?
Yeah. So I am talking about Kate.
Kate. Yeah.
Kate's talking about Kate. She is very clearly going to become Hawkeye. She is the next generation of Hawkeye. One of my favorite parts in this episode is when she was like, "I'm going to be Lady Hawk," and he was like, "Don't say that." So that's really all there is to say. She's going to be the next Hawkeye, the next generation. I'm hoping, I don't know if she's going to take that exact name. I know Falcon became Captain America. We'll see if she takes that name, but they are very setting her up to become the next Hawkeye.
Okay.
Do you think becomes an Avenger?
Young Avengers.
Actual on the team?
Young Avengers.
Well, whatever, but yeah.
But yes. Yeah. Okay. Rebecca, what's Yelena do?
I've got two things. One about what Pete said, one about what Kate said. I think definitely Kate is going to take the Hawkeye name because as she was listing all of these extra names, he had said, "Hey, I have a good idea," and then the scene ended, and so I think he's gonna be like, "Why don't you just be Hawkeye?" So that's him transitioning. I don't think that Clint Barton will be completely out of the picture. He also said to her, "We're partners in this. I'm going to help you finish this. We're going to end this." So I do think a mentorship, definitely, but it may just be a lot of text messages, cameos, phone calls, things like that, and not just plus now that we know that, what is her name, Laura, is a SHIELD, there has to be some more added storyline for her as well, I think. But besides the point, Yelena, my girl crush, she's wonderful. I think that she will be partners with Kate. In my mind, they're going to work together. They kind of have a very sibling relationship, I think, being sisters, bickering and fighting, but they're able to play and stuff. And they're wow, their fight scene was really funny because she just smacked her across the face. Kate just smacked Elena, and she was like, "What was that?" He's like, I don't know. To me, it was funny. They were able to banter back and forth, kind of like siblings. I don't think, now that we know that Eleanor was in charge of hiring Yelena, and now she's in jail, I think Yelena's kind of out there, no mission anymore. I know that there was Val who reached out to her, but that was through Eleanor. So I don't know. To me, Eleanor's business in this kind of seems halted. And I think they'll either fight against the Kingpin, who is obviously still alive, or rest of the track shoes, maybe Echo, I don't know, but something in me tells me that they're going to have some type of sibling sister relationship moving forward and kind of working together. Yeah. Kate, what you got?
So, Rebecca, because you are the Marvel diehard expert on the Platoon, do you feel because I know one part that I particularly liked was when, and I don't remember who said it to who, said, "Stop making me like you," or stop.
Kate said that to Yelena.
Yeah, and Yelena was like, "I'm sorry," or something like that. Do you feel like that friendship is being forced, or that humor between the two of them was being forced? Or do you feel like that really that worked? Because I personally, in the scene where they were like, oh, you don't want macaroni? I have macaroni. Hot sauce. Like, I loved that. To me, that was a breath of fresh air because I liked Yelena so much. How do you feel about their relationship? Like, as a diehard Marvel fan.
To me, don't feel like it was forced. We know that with her, when Yelena was in her apartment, it was more interrogation rather than conversation. She was trying to get information on Clint and his whereabouts and stuff, but she was just trying to make her more comfortable to talk to her. So that whole macaroni scene or whatever was Russian interrogation from her Black Widow days. But I think moving forward, they've kind of reached I mean, she obviously knows that she didn't kill Clint, but had the perfect opportunity to. I think that they've kind of reached an agreement of like, I know, Derek, you even said this earlier. There wasn't an I forgive you that was kind of said that you wanted. I don't really think that he needed forgiveness. He didn't kill her. He didn't need to ask for that, or she didn't have to give that to him because she was misled. Yelena was completely misled on the situation, and Clint showed his colors of, no, like, your sister was my soulmate, basically my friendship soulmate, and that relationship was kind of restored. And so I think that Clint and Yelena and Kate moving forward are kind of this trio, and I do think Echo may pull into there too just a little bit, but I think their relationship between Yelena and Kate is more of a friendship, but not a forced one, I don't think. Derek?
No, I don't really have anything to add.
Well, I know you're going to talk about another character here.
Yeah, but Pete's next.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What?
Pete is next.
I'm next.
Yeah,
Who am I talking about?
You are talking about Echo.
I'm talking about Echo. Yeah, well, I mean, she's the only character in this entire series that we know is coming back, right? I mean, it's clearly others are going to come back, but she actually has an announced show. And I find it interesting because her story in this kind of wrapped up. So it's an interesting character, and I'm looking forward to more, but I'm kind of assuming she'll be like, I don't know, almost like a vigilante type role where I don't know. She's clearly her whole life she's been a criminal, right? And is she going to still be a criminal, but she's going to help people too? Is she? I don't imagine they're going to build a series straight around, oh, she's going to be a bad guy and she's going to be killing people. I think they're going to find someone for her to help. So I don't know.
I got to throw Ryan's other hot take. I don't care about Echo and don't want to know anything else about her. Again, Ryan, welcome to my Marvel life. But
yeah, I mean, but I think that's my point. Is like they kind of wrapped up the character in a neat little ball in the series, and what more is there for it? So I think of the characters, there's several characters I want to see more of. Yelena probably foremost among them, but we're gonna get Echo either way. So I guess we'll find out.
Okay, so. Pete. Star Wars has announced an Acolyte series that's going to talk about the Sith. Mm-hmm. Does Echo stay on the bad side, on the darker side of Marvel? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it could be a case of like with the Mandalorian where he's a gun for hire. So maybe she's not necessarily good per se, but like I don't expect her to become an Avenger or anything like that. Okay. But
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so my job is Kingpin. Okay, let's get it first out of the way. Kingpin is not dead. He's nobody thinks, I think we all agree on that. Yeah. In the MCU, he's actually closer. This one anyway, he's actually closer to like a super than a true human. Think about the super strength he has, being able to tear the car door off, the arrow that didn't really do anything that stabbed him in the chest. In the comics, the idea is that his muscles are so strong that they actually limit the penetration. Because in theory, he weighs 200 and some pounds and has 9 pounds of fat in the comics. So he's been set up too much to be killed right away. I think he'll at least be back in the upcoming Echo series, along with whatever they do with Daredevil and whatever they do with Hawkeye. I think Daredevil and Echo teaming up would be great, because you got one that can't see and one that can't hear. So 2 on point, maybe, but I mean, that's a possibility. Ryan does say that Marvel so far hasn't told any story about a villain as a standalone. I think she turns good. Yeah, I mean, that's very Marvel. Marvel doesn't like to focus a ton on the baddies. So I will say, though, no one has mentioned, I called the stepdad to be helping them out in the finale in the first episode. So
You did, yeah. I mean, but I think we were all we all thought Jack was not the bad guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
and in the end, I do think they like wrapped him up really nice to have him just kind of show up. He's like, "What's going on?" And then he starts hitting people with his sword. So
yeah. So Kate,
I just don't like the mom.
Oh yeah.
I know that sounds so silly, but like, I resonate with Kate being close to her mom, and just to like have her have that moment of like, how could you do this? And the mom's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Kate's like,
It's the gaslighting. I hate
that.
it.
Like, that was a little bit not triggering for me, but like to have her be like, you're an idiot. I literally, and the mom's like, it's not what you think. Seriously,
it's always what you think. It's always what you think.
So that, like, I'm just sad. I wanted the mom to, like, I don't know, not the worst.
And that was very telegraphed at the beginning of the episode, where he talks about, sometimes you have to make decisions and hurt the ones you love and sacrifice people. And I mean, we knew it was coming at some point. But
yeah, she did kind of end up being a nothing character at the end, because they didn't, when they brought in Kingpin, they just kind of made her another lackey, and she kept saying how she was forced to do it, but then she killed a bunch of people too. So
yeah. Okay. As we always do at the end of some of these series, we need a pixie dust rating out of 5. Kate, for this season of Hawkeye, pixie dust rating.
3.
Okay.
2.5. 2.5, 3. I don't know. 2.75?
No, not allowed.
2.5.
We'll go heavy. 3.
Okay.
I'll give it
3.
3.
Okay.
It was good. It was funny. It made me laugh. Yelena's the winner.
Okay, Pete.
Yeah, I would also give it a 3. I enjoyed it. I don't think I would revisit it really.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would rate it higher than a 3, but it was fun. I didn't dislike that I was having to watch it, and I didn't, I found a lot of the action scenes to be fun, as I said, but I'm not sure I would go back and watch it again. I don't know. It's middle of the road, 3, right? Okay. So Rebecca? Sorry.
Keeping it level here, definitely a 3 for me. In terms of like order of like best, we've got Loki, WandaVision. This one, like, by not a lot, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's like,
I'm right with you. Loki was my favorite, and then WandaVision, and then this one and Falcon and Winter Soldier are very close. I might put this one a little higher, only because it had more humor.
You put Loki above WandaVision?
Yes.
Every day.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah. It was a perfect series.
I loved it. it.
At some people's children. I mean, really.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're allowed opinions.
Yeah, even when they're wrong.
The bottom row is the bottom row is the best row. Face it.
Derek, I don't think I've heard a thing you say right about Marvel yet, so I don't. Why we're attacking opinions here.
To me, it's 2.5. again, which is middle of the road to high end for me for a Marvel series. To me, it's Wanda, this, Falcon, Loki, honestly. Just because, and Falcon and Loki are both like, you might as well flip a coin, which is 3, which is 4 to me.
It's
So.
you know what? It's just because he doesn't understand it. It's okay.
Yeah, confused Derek.
You're confused.
No.
Welcome to the tribe. Confused Derek, confused Kate.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Wait till you watch the new Spider-Man.
Oh God.
Which I don't have to do for over a year. I'm so happy. Vicky says a 3. Gina says started strong and let down 2.5. Ryan says this one over Falcon and Winter Soldier because Yelena and Kate were so good. Vicky puts this 3rd behind WandaVision and Loki. Ryan hashtag confused top row. No, we're not confused. We just know we didn't really like Loki. So, okay. This coming week, we have got the Book of Boba Fett coming up. And yes, Pete with his scientist joke shirt down there. So, Kate,
Yeah.
what's going to make this series a success for you?
So Derek, you know how you feel about Marvel?
Yeah?
That's how I feel about this. And listen, my boyfriend, we tried to get through Star Wars and Clone Wars got us, man. We can't get through Clone Wars, so we switched over to Marvel. So now we're watching the Marvel universe. I don't know. Somebody said I needed to have watched The Mandalorian. I watched the preview and I was like, all right. And like, I appreciate Boba Fett and I'm the wrong person to ask because
Okay.
It's Star Wars. It's got wars with stars. And a really dope helmet. So we'll see. Pete, you go. Pete, take over. Pete, you go.
Hey, it's got Mulan as a badass warrior. Come on, what can go wrong, right?
Live action Mulan.
Yeah,
that can go wrong.
Not live action Mulan.
That can go on.
Animated Mulan. That's animated Mulan.
Oh, that is okay.
Also in the Marvel universe,
and she's Melinda May. That's right. So, yeah, I don't really think you need to watch The Mandalorian for this. I really don't think so. Though I love The Mandalorian. It's probably my favorite thing on Disney Plus, but it was before this year, so it didn't make the nominations for the Toonies, which everybody should watch later this week.
Coming out Friday.
That's right. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of, it seems like a little like The Mandalorian in that it's like the seedy underside of the Star Wars universe with Boba Fett taking over Jabba the Hutt's whatever
business
you want to call
territory.
It. Yeah,
whatever.
territory. Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. I mean, I really don't know. The Mandalorian, as I said, I think is probably the best Star Wars thing since the original trilogy. I would argue The Mandalorian is. So this is not exactly by the same people, but some of the same people. So, we don't know a lot about Boba Fett, anyways, right? He's a bounty hunter. Well, I guess his dad was the original clone. Becomes a bounty hunter. Actually, now that I think about it, he's around a lot because he's also in Clone Wars. Never mind. Anyways, we'll see. I'm hoping it's as good as Mandalorian or close to it. I'm looking forward to it. We'll find out though, because I'm probably the biggest Star Wars fan here. I think, if you don't count Gina,
pretty big.
Who's
Star
in the
Wars fan,
Gina? Who?
Sam.
Sam is. I would say Gina is maybe a little more than me, but it's very close.
Okay.
Rebecca?
I'm with Kate on this one. I don't do Star Wars. I've never done Star Wars. It's hard to get into it. I did watch The Mandalorian and I did like The Mandalorian. I was intrigued by to me, you didn't need to know anything else about Star Wars to understand The Mandalorian. And so that was easier for me to follow. And let's be honest, Grogu, Baby Yoda kept me hooked on Mandalorian. So I think I will need some type of, not necessarily a cute little squishy thing, but like just that type of humor or some type of thing that I can look forward to in every episode. Because there was not a scene in Mandalorian where he failed. And so I knew that at least for some parts of it that like that would pull me in. And so I just needed to be like the Mandalorian. I will watch it because if I don't really need to know Star Wars, then it will be easier to watch. But if I have to watch the Star Wars movies to understand, then I'm just not gonna like it. Because I can't get into Star Wars. It's been hard. And hearing all of you talk about it doesn't make me want to get into it. So I'll leave that to you guys. But just hopefully it's as, eye-catching as The Mandalorian, and it should be good, I think. So.
Rebecca, I'd say I agree with you on the fact that I want a fairly self-contained saga.
I would agree.
This is a new series. It should be able to stand on its own. We've got to find, and as Gina said, we have to know how he escaped the Sarlacc. I think we'll find that out in the first 10 minutes of the first episode, because that's the question that everybody needs answered. Or somewhere in the first episode.
I think we'll find it out, but I don't know about the first episode. But yeah.
Oh, I think it's got to be the first episode.
And see, my response is Sarlacc.
The pit with the big teeth he fell into when he fell off of Boba Fett's ship in Return of the Jedi.
Like, no.
Okay.
No.
Like, actually, like Sarlacc sounds like a kind of dessert that would have like some sort of chocolate on top that I would be here.
Some coconut.
What?
Yeah.
Loki? Thor? What? Huh? Asgard?
A really good martini.
Now you know how I've been feeling the whole time we've
But you
been
know
doing
what's
Marvel.
so much easier is there's not 16 movies and all these different TV shows.
Wait a second. There's
Very careful where you're
Wait a second.
I'm talking
Wait.
MCU only. If you want to go,
There's
and
not
watch
16 movies. How many Marvel movies are there?
There's a lot of Marvel
22,
movies.
but
22?
Yeah,
I'm
there's only
talking MCU
11
only.
Star Wars movies.
I was gonna say there's only like 8 or 10 Star Wars movies.
Okay, but how many seasons of all of those other shows are
That's
there?
fair.
But I don't.
They're all cartoons.
Okay.
Quite honestly, you do not need to watch the
Bad
cartoons.
Batch sucked.
Agents
I'm
of
sorry.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
They all are bad.
The Deadpool on Netflix. I mean, you've got all this other crap that Marvel puts out.
Deadpool.
MCU. Deadpool is.
I think personally, both galaxies or universi between Star Wars and Frick. You know what I'm trying to say.
On
They're
a
both
side note,
equally complicated.
Kate needs to stop the tequila.
They're both equally complicated. But Rebecca, I'm with you on this. It is really hard to get into for me and understand. And you're talking to a girl who is watching her way through the Marvel universe, and I am trying. I'm working my way.
Because also
I struggle to follow the planets and the civilizations. That is hard for me, but it's also decently hard for me with the Marvel universe too. But Star Wars is just hard to get into. I'm trying. I really am trying.
My thing with it is like, didn't the first 6 you have to watch backwards? Or like,
depends on who you talk to.
Okay, because like my only issue with it is like Star Wars. MCU is like a my generation thing. I know that original Iron Man came out like early 2000s, but it was still like I was able to start watching it when it came out and like keep going. Star Wars was what, 70s, 80s, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, for me to try to, and everything that's come from that since then, it's overwhelming. Harry Potter is overwhelming. Star Trek is overwhelming. Like Lord of the Rings, all of them overwhelming to think about how I have to watch 30 to 40 years, actually now 50 years of stuff to go through and get through. Whereas you guys have been around longer than I have, could have watched MCU from the beginning that it started, and at this point understand and get everything. For me to go back is a lot of work.
Yeah. And that's a good comment though, because like I remember sitting in the movie theater, you're not actually that much older than my daughter. My daughter is 18, so you're the same generation. And I remember sitting in the theater with her during Endgame and like watching her watch that movie and thinking to myself, this is her Star Wars and Indiana Jones that for me, I was 7, 10, and 13 when the original 3 Star Wars movies came out, right? So I was the exact right age for Star Wars. So, and I'll admit there's a lot of it that's not good. post the original 3 movies, there's a lot of Star Wars that isn't that great. But yeah, so I understand that it's harder to get into, but there's quality there too. So
Pete, so Star Wars to you, Pete, and Marvel to you, Rebecca, is Harry Potter to me.
Yeah, probably.
I grew up the same age as Harry. When I was 11, the first book came out. Like, I grew up the same age as Harry. Even though, sorry, hashtag not Disney Plus. But so I can understand both sides. Anyway, there we are.
But anyway, back to what I'd like to see out of the series. I really want to see something that I don't have to watch Mandalorian. I don't have to watch Clone Wars or Bad Batch or anything. I want something that don't have him still wanting to get revenge on Han or don't have revenge on the Empire or whatever. Make this completely by itself. And make sure there's a plot reason for me to watch the shows. Make sure the plot actually moves. Because sometimes you can get so bogged down in the story that nothing really happens. I know. So Gina says she's really excited and that she needs to know how Boba Fett escaped the Sarlacc. Vicky says if being set in Tatooine makes them retheme Galaxy's Edge to Tatooine, then she would be for it. Not going to argue with that.
That would have made so much more sense.
Oh, so much more sense. It's this random planet, not the one that Luke and Rey are from. Really?
Like we don't want to tie it down to one place. Literally, all the movies come to Tatooine eventually.
Tatooine,
just
yeah.
Make it there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ryan says if it's anything like The Mandalorian, it's going to be great. Dan says, so Boba Fett was a character with very little backstory, so I'm excited to see what happens. That's true. He's kind of a bit player in 2 movies that people have wanted a background on. So, and the Sarlacc dessert is a great pitch for Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, I like it. Gina says there's 9 movies that are good.
I need to verify that with Gina.
I need to know names. Yeah, there's not 9 movies that are good.
There are 22 good MCU movies.
I strongly disagree. Vicky says Rogue One's her favorite. I like Rogue One. Yeah,
Rogue One is great.
and that it is what Revenge of the Sith should have been. Yes and no. If we got how he became truly Darth Vader in the one before it. So, okay, so next week will be Book of Boba Fett. Guys, it is the end of a calendar year. What are your Disney Plus resolutions? What do you want to make sure you watch? And guys, I'm going to start. For me, I haven't seen any of The Mandalorian. I have seen 0 Mandalorian episodes. That is what I want to get watched this year for Disney Plus is I need to get caught up on The Mandalorian before season 3 comes out. Kate?
So I have literally, if you've seen me looking down, it's because I've been searching Disney Plus to try to figure out what the heck it was that Pete said about the zoo thing. Pete, what
Secrets
was
of the Zoo? Secrets of the Zoo.
Like, Derek messaged me. I was like, Kate, look up. And I was like, I'm trying to remember what Pete said. because I was trying to look up Secrets of the Zoo. I have heard Pete talk about this more than once. Y'all know I love a good documentary. So I want to do that. I also, and I know we are going to be talking about this, I'm really excited to watch Encanto.
Okay.
I'm really pumped to watch that. So Pete, what about you?
I will say I've seen Encanto, and I'm looking forward to talking about it, and that's all I will say out of that.
Okay.
I've been talking about, I've never watched Clone Wars, and I've been slowly making my way through it. And I've pretty much seen every other Star Wars thing there is, except for Clone Wars. So I'm hoping in the new year to get through that, and I'm really looking forward to more shows with my tuners, and especially I love watching vault shows with you guys. So we gotta try to we gotta try to do like one a month or something like that. We gotta do a few more of those.
And that is the goal. We'll do one ish a month. I know January is going to be super busy. We'll do one a month, and every vault show will have trivia with it.
Yeah, like 10 a year type thing, right? Yeah.
So, okay, Rebecca.
I don't want to put it out there because I have a Star Wars resolution, but I'm not going to say what it is because if I don't meet it, I don't want to feel like bad about not meeting it.
This is a safe place. You're on the platoon. We are no judgment here.
Look, I want to understand Star Wars and really love Star Wars, or not love. He's an MCU guy, but like understand Star Wars and watch the Clone Wars and everything. So like, if watching the first like 6 is a resolution, that I'll watch the first 6. The other thing that I really, really, really want to watch is Eternals. And Harry Styles is in it, so I'm looking forward to that one. But mostly because of everything else. And
that will be coming mid-January. That'll be coming mid-January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that should be easy.
We're gonna bring our producer in. We're gonna bring Gina in. Hey, hi guys. Gina, what's your Disney Plus resolution?
So I really enjoy those National Geographics and the Gordon Ramsay. I was watching some of the Gordon Ramsay. We started it and it kind of just fell away. So it's those Gordon Ramsay. I forget what he does, but he goes through all the countries and tries the food and learns how to do the things. So it's those Gordon Ramsay on National Geographic.
Okay, sounds good, guys. It has been a great 2021 with you guys, and I cannot wait until 2022. But to end 2021, December 31st at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will be broadcasting the Toonies, our award show chosen by you to know what was the best and the worst of what we reviewed on Disney Plus in 2021. It will be a taped show, so if you're busy on New Year's Eve, watch us whenever. I will say, for those of you who remember pop-up video, I will be on during the actual broadcast, providing some behind the stats and such. So
I want to play too.
Oh, sure, come on, anyone who can come. But definitely, we'll see everyone on December 31st at 3:00 Eastern. It will also be available the 31st on the podcast, Apple, Amazon. We are on Audible. We're on Spotify. We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
We are everywhere.
If you have suggestions for vault shows, because it's Kate's decision next, and then we're still looking for ideas. It can't all be Boba Fett for the next 2 months. We hope.
How many episodes are there of this? I don't even know.
I think I've seen 8. I believe.
Okay.
It needs to be 10.
So, but
Rebecca's just the opposite. She's like, 8.
I know. It needs more.
Yeah. But
I only get 6 about Hawkeye.
So, if you have suggestions of what we should watch, email us at plusplatoon@gmail.com. If we use your suggestions, you'll be on the show with us. So, that being said, guys, I hope everyone, Pete?
7. I just looked it up. There are 7 episodes.
Okay. And it being not being Marvel, there's actually only one that comes out tomorrow. So
yes.
That being said, guys, I hope everyone has an amazing new year. Stay safe, stay magical, and we will see you guys on the flip side. Good night, everyone.
Happy
night.
New Year.
My name's Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Plus Platoon. Be sure to subscribe to the Plus Platoon podcast to keep getting great content each week. Then head over to Apple Podcast and leave those 5-star reviews as they help make the Plus Platoon visible to even more Disney Plus fans. Also, go to YouTube and like and subscribe to the Plus Platoon channel, where you can watch all future episodes live. If you have a question for the Plus Platoon, please send us an email to plusplatoon@gmail.com or connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram @plusplatoon.
The Plus Platoon is a Disney Plus fan podcast and is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or the Disney Plus streaming service. All opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the individual hosts and in no way reflect the views of the Walt Disney Company.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode because the Plus Platoon is to be continued.